Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're looking at something truly fascinating happening right in our own backyards. Literally. Los Angeles backyards are undergoing this massive, high-tech, high-design transformation right now. If you think a deck is just, a simple wooden platform where you toss a grill and a couple of lawn chairs, well, you are in for a huge surprise. We're looking at a complete reinvention of outdoor space for 2026, and we've distilled the very best industry data and research into the blueprint we'll be walking through today.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our agenda for today. Number 1, the second living room. Number 2, designing for all seasons. 3, modern materials and aesthetics. 4, budgeting your LA deck. And 5, wildfires and permit realities.
So, starting with Section 1, the second living room, the end of the simple standalone deck.
The traditional backyard platform as we know it is completely dead. Actually, let's take it a step further. The era of the standalone redwood deck is officially over, and there's a very specific reason for this. In Southern California, property values are absolutely soaring, right? And lot sizes are feeling tighter than ever. So homeowners have realized that maximizing every single square foot of living space under the sun is the ultimate goal. You aren't just building a place to step outside anymore, you're building a true destination.
This brings us to this really cool concept called programmatic living. It basically means designing a backyard with the exact same intentionality as an interior floor plan, where each zone has a specific purpose to maximize utility and create an all-weather extension of the home. This is the big, overarching philosophy driving all of our 2026 design trends. You don't just have open space anymore. You have a prep zone, a dining zone, and a conversation zone, designed exactly like the inside of your house.
And just to prove that this is a massive shift and not just some passing fad, listen to this number. 60%. According to recent field data, over 60% of new deck permits in LA County now include integrated features. We're talking full outdoor kitchens or built-in fire pits. People are making serious, permanent investments into their footprints.
Moving on to Section 2, designing for all seasons, controlling the elements.
Now that we know we're building these incredible outdoor living rooms, let's look at how they're engineered for year-round usability. And this brilliantly illustrates the shift. To create that four-season use, high-end projects everywhere from Sherman Oaks down to the coast in Mar Vista are tossing out those old, static, slatted wooden pergolas. Instead, they're using operable, louvered pergolas from brands like Structure and Azenko. These give you complete sun and rain control at the touch of a button. It's essentially a dynamic ceiling. Add in built-in gas fire features from Paliform and ceiling-mounted infrared heaters from Infratech, and you've successfully extended your deck's use from early spring straight through the late fall and winter.
But when the sun goes down, you have got to forget the string lights. I know, we all absolutely love that classic bistro look, but if you want that professional, resort-like atmosphere, it requires a completely different approach.
A truly custom outdoor space requires a professional lighting plan mapped out from day one. We are talking about fully integrated low-voltage LED systems. You need recessed lights right in your stair risers for safety, under-rail lighting that casts this gorgeous soft glow across the deck surface, and ambient post-cap illumination. And the real secret sauce here? Using warm 2700 Kelvin fixtures. That specific color temperature is exactly what gives you that inviting, luxurious resort feel after dark.
Section 3, modern materials and aesthetics, moody colors and hyper-realistic composites.
Now, what's really interesting about this transition is the visual transformation. There is just a stark contrast between the old and new paradigms. We used to rely on blonde wood that required constant staining and sealing just to eke out a 10 to 30-year lifespan. Today, the new paradigm relies on hyper-realistic composites from brands like Trex or TimberTech. These materials convincingly mimic the look of exotic hardwoods like Ipe or teak, but they come with a 25 to 50-year warranty and require almost zero maintenance. Plus, according to Remodeling magazine's Cost versus Value report, these composite decks actually recoup a higher percentage of their cost at resale than traditional wood decks.
Aesthetically, we're seeing a massive shift too. Charcoal and espresso hues are the new dominant color trend. Those washed-out, beachy looks that dominated the last decade, they are entirely out. Design-forward neighborhoods like Silver Lake are heavily embracing bold, saturated colors, like Trex's Transcend Lineage line in the color basalt. It creates this incredibly sophisticated, dramatic backdrop that makes your native greenery just absolutely pop.
And speaking of design, as lot sizes shrink and your neighbors get a little bit closer, privacy is non-negotiable. But instead of cheap wooden lattice, homeowners are opting for architectural privacy screens that actually act as focal points. We're seeing laser-cut metal panels, horizontal IPA slat walls, and planters made from FSC-certified hardwoods acting as essential privacy barriers. It completely transforms a dense neighborhood backyard into a private, secluded sanctuary. It's like a personal oasis.
Section 4. Budgeting your LA deck. The cost of the outdoor room.
Let's ground this explainer in reality for a second and transition from these beautiful designs to the actual financial investment required, based on recent project data. The average comprehensive project in LA falls between $35,000 and $95,000, which is heavily driven by specialized labor rates. For instance, look at a mid-range project in Mar Vista. A 400-square-foot Trex deck with a fixed cedar pergola comes in around $48,500. But when you jump to a high-end project in Sherman Oaks, adding multi-level IPE hardwood, an operable louvered pergola, and a built-in outdoor kitchen with a grill and fridge, the price jumps to $115,000. And for luxury? Like a hillside property in the Hollywood Hills requiring extensive structural engineering, steel framing, and glass railings, you're looking at $195,000 and up.
And honestly, whatever your budget is, you need to remember this exact number, 10 to 15%. This is the recommended budget contingency for renovations in homes over 30 years old. Unexpected issues almost always pop up when you start opening up the ground or attaching things to older structures.
Let's move to Section 5. Wildfires and permit realities. Building legal and safe.
Now you might be asking yourself, do I really need a permit for this in Los Angeles? Let me be absolutely clear. With investments this large, skipping the Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety, or LADBS, is simply not an option.
A permit is strictly mandated if your project hits any of these specific triggers. If the structure is over 30 inches above grade, if it's attached to the house, or if it's covered by a roof like a solid pergola, you need a permit. Verifying these requirements ensures your structure is built to code and saves you from massive, massive penalties down the line.
So the crucial point is how all of this intersects with our environment, particularly for homes in high fire hazard severity zones. The California Building Code mandates ignition-resistant materials. You absolutely must follow these steps to create defensible space. First, choose Class A fire-rated composites or non-combustible stone or concrete pavers. Second, utilize steel framing instead of traditional wood. Third, establish a strict 5-foot non-combustible zone directly around the home. And finally, integrate native drought-tolerant California plants, which conserve water and reduce fire risk.
Which brings us to our final thought today. In an era of shrinking lots and soaring property values, shouldn't we stop looking at the backyard as just landscaping and start viewing it as the most valuable, untapped square footage of our homes? When you approach your outdoor space with the exact same programmatic intentionality as your indoors, you aren't just building a deck, you're actively expanding the boundaries of how and where you live. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this blueprint helps you look at your own backyard in a completely new light.